We've been doing privacy please for a while, and I think the general consensus for everyone that's been on the show, folks that we've gotten feedback from to listen to the show, is that digital privacy is a right that we exercise, that it shouldn't be a luxury.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Privacy Lounge. Wow, I messed that up.
Did you mess it up? Because this is the privacy lounge.
Or is it the Problem Lounge?
Or is it the privacy? Is it the lounge, please?
The lounge, please.
Is it the problem, please? I don't know. Which one is it?
Problem Lounge.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Problem Lounge.
Yep, Cameron Ivey here alongside Gabe Gumbs. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, buddy, it's cold down here in Florida.
It is for our friends up in the north, though. They're not trying to hear it. They're in the negative 10s and 30s and whatnots, and we dipped below 50, dipped below 40. I don't know, dipped below 40, dipped below 35.
It was 35 this morning and the morning before, so I don't want to hear
True.
it. That's cold as shit.
You are not going to get me to argue with you, brother. It is cold. It is way too cold.
You know what else is cold? Agency for sale, digital privacy.
It is. We should remind our listeners that the Problem Lounge specifically this is where we really get into celebrating that messiness of being human in a digital world, right? And so what you are referring to is one of the first topics we wanted to challenge to really get into here is the messiness of who gets to have digital privacy, who actually gets to have it. We all have agency. We all have the right to choose what we want to do. Essentially, we're not going to get into the details of, social structures that might limit agency here and there, but actually we will get into that to some degree in this conversation. But agency for sale, for sure. Our agency is for sale. Our right, our ability to choose is for sale. The question is, what are we getting in return for it? What's the price that we're paying for?
Would you say it's a luxury?
Digital privacy? I mean, that's the question to all of us. We've been doing privacy please for a while, and I think the general consensus for everyone that's been on the show, folks that we've gotten feedback from to listen to the show, is that digital privacy is a right that we exercise, that it shouldn't be a luxury. But it is a luxury. And I don't say that to ask the question. I'm making that as a statement. It's a luxury. It's a luxury. Why is digital privacy a luxury?
Because it's a choice that we have to make, and it's something that we can benefit from, but also
there are lots of places in our lives where if you choose to opt out of different communities, digital communities, social networks, etc., for the sake of your digital privacy, there's a price to be paid. Great example. Let's say you decide you don't want LinkedIn as a form of social media anymore. You want to get rid of it. That has a direct effect on your ability to network with other professionals, and it can harm your ability to get work. Like, many people won't even consider you for a job if you don't have a LinkedIn presence. Like, they go to look for you on LinkedIn, they don't see you, and like, you're immediately disqualified.
This person isn't real.
So is it a luxury? Is it a luxury if you have to have that as a qualifier for even being considered to earn a living? I can tell you, I know some extremely wealthy people. They're not on LinkedIn. They have no real reason to be. And these people aren't they're in the business world. They're very much in the business world, conducting ungodly amounts of dollars worth of business.
Yeah.
But they're not beholden to LinkedIn to trade their labor for dollars. So yeah, it's a luxury. It's a real ass luxury.
Well, I mean, so in your mind, Gabe, what is the difference between doing business on Instagram and doing business on LinkedIn? Because obviously LinkedIn is like how
Same
people
thing.
try to get jobs and
Yeah.
connection.
The only difference is B2B versus B2C. If you run a coffee shop and you don't have an Instagram, you're going to find it more difficult than the coffee shop down the road to attract people to get to your audience, right? Like, so again, is it a luxury at that point if you have to participate in order to be successful? Is it a luxury? When your kid's school uses Google Classroom, can you opt out of using that Google product? I mean, you could take your kid to a different school, but if you take your kid to a school that has Google Classroom and you can't opt out, your agency has been taken away. Like, you no longer have the agency to control your digital privacy.
That's true. And that happens all over the place, especially nowadays with school.
You know, it's even more perverse. The inverse of that, right? So, you know, I've heard leaders at YouTube make statements like they don't let their own kids watch YouTube or use it at all. Tech workers at Google and Meta send their kids to Waldorf schools that don't use any screens. The very people that are building the technology tar pits that are sucking up our attention and reselling them by the microsecond do not allow their own loved ones to consume these products.
That should tell you
That tells
everything,
you everything you need to know.
everything. And
Everything you need.
what is a Waldo school? Is that like
A Waldorf.
Waldorf? Is that like a Harry Potter university?
I mean,
That'd be awesome.
I think Hogwarts probably costs less than a Waldorf school to go to. Yes. So there's that. There's that.
There's that.
There's that. There's 100% that. So why are we having this topic as one of our early Problem Lounge topics? Well, we've been talking about the launch of the Problem Lounge network for a while, and a lot of that came with launching our own digital assets, doing things like putting up YouTube videos even, right? Like, we talked about, where a lot of our listeners are outside of LinkedIn as well too. And so how do we get to them on other social platforms when neither you or I care to participate in those social platforms in our own personal lives? But in this context, we may want to reach those people that need to be reached. There's all of the assets that went into building what is now the Problem Lounge network. So we are going to publish a multi-part series on what it took for us to get there, calling out the taxes that we paid along the way to get there. I think it's useful to highlight the actual luxury tax that privacy is. A lot of what we did to ensure, for example, our own listeners' data doesn't get compromised from a privacy perspective by using other platforms, right? Like, we need to connect with guests and book them and manage those relationships. So, we need a relationship management tool. We could go use a free version of any of the ones out there, but that would trade off the privacy of the very data of the folks that we're bringing on the show. We launched our newsletter. Hey, if you haven't checked it out yet, go hit theproblemlounge.com and go sign up for the newsletter. Same thing with the newsletter. We could have just launched a Substack, for example. But again, there's a problem there for us in that all we're going to do is just litter more of our listeners' data all over the place. So how do we, as the folks who week in, week out, carry the privacy banner, how do we actually live and espouse and live up to those things, right? So we self-hosted many of the tools, almost all of the tools we needed to launch the network. And so we're gonna share that over the next several episodes and weeks, as well as post those assets online for folks to get to. But the tax is your time. Self-hosting takes time. There's the knowledge gap. Like, just even knowing how to do those things is not something that's available to everyone easily. That's the reason it's just easier to go pay for a SaaS platform. There's still a financial cost associated with it. It's not zero. You still have to host it on something. You definitely run it on the back of a TI calculator, but that's not going to be enough to power the show, right? And then there's the social cost too, right? Do we alienate any of our listeners by not participating in the watering holes that they're at?
Can you touch a little bit more on the social aspect of it? What do you mean by that? I don't know. I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
there are a lot of there's the network effect, right? Like, Facebook is valuable and Instagram is valuable because everyone else is on there, because other people are on there.
Yeah.
So if half of the people decided to stop using Instagram tomorrow, it would immediately lose a lot of its social value, even because the whole reason you're there is that network effect of others being there. So, leaving your own community behind is a pretty hefty social price for lots of people to pay. I can tell you that personally, I know I miss out on events because I'm not on social networks, and so, like, I'll find out about something after the fact. It's like, "Oh, man, I really wish I knew that was happening," and I'll hear from the organizer, "Yeah, we posted about it on Instagram," and I'm like, "Well, that's why I didn't hear about it. That's why I didn't hear about it." So how do they get to me? How do they get to me? Those are things that we wanna talk about. How do they get to me?
So, did you want to go a little bit into the it's your choice, why choice is an illusion kind of thing?
Well, I think we've touched on a bunch of reasons why choice is a bit of an illusion. There's the illusion of, yeah, I don't have to participate in social networks, but there's some of them that if you don't participate in, like LinkedIn, you may not be able to get gainful employment. That choice certainly starts feeling a lot like an illusion. If your school mandates using Google Classroom, it's not much of a choice there any longer. Those choices start feeling like illusions. If your employer mandates you use Slack or Teams, you have healthcare through patient portals. The dark patterns that keep us from opting out can take dozens of clicks sometimes, but opting in, click, sign up here, sign up with your blank account. Click. You opt right in. To opt out, 3, 4, 5, 40 clicks. Hell, even just opting out of cookie banners is an exercise in fucking frustration sometimes.
Yeah. It sounds like it's something almost you've run into personally. What kind of advice would you give listeners that have children that maybe are running into this or might run into this at schools to give them a better option or maybe how you kind of handled it?
You're 100% going to have to pick and choose your battles, right? Like the agency that you get to exercise, it is a bit of a luxury. And so you won't always be able to. In for environments where it's like, thou must use Google Classroom, set up a completely separate account just for the purpose of that, that isn't associated with any other real information associated with that student. I won't tell you to take it to the extreme ends of, only connecting to that account through a VPN or something crazy such that, Google can never actually track you all the way down to a location. But separation. You want to separate from all those things. A. B, you definitely want to limit access to any technology that has the ability to compromise your privacy or kids' privacy. Australia launched that law where, you have to be, what is it, 16 or older to use social networks. And
Yeah.
I'm not against it. Like lots of folks were all grumpy and they were like, we can't stop people from it's not right. And where are they going to learn about this and that or communicate with their friends? Like, no one banned email, no one banned text messaging. They're just banning the use of what has become some of the greatest psyops tools of all time.
This gives me such memories growing up, and I know that I'm a little younger than you, but you know what it makes me feel like? And we talked about this offline a little bit, but I think when you have social media and phones and access 24/7, and back in the day, like you're obviously everything is all those things are created to stimulate to what's the word? Stimulate?
Yeah, definitely
To
to
trigger.
engage. Definitely to
Yeah.
trigger. Yeah, yeah.
Engaged, it's an addiction. When I was growing up, I remember you couldn't go on online until you got home from school,
Right,
sign on AOL,
right,
get on Messenger,
right.
and then that's when you can kinda have a little bit of fun, and you're not doing it all day, though. So, like, there's such a difference there when
Now you can access the internet. Almost everyone above the age of, let's just go as low as 14, can access the internet for the most part in America within seconds.
Yes.
I won't say the entire globe, but you know, phones are everywhere and phones have become the new portal to the internet.
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary just to think about our kids and what, um the exposure they have compared to what we had as kids. I just think it out like the bad outweighs any of the good. There's just I don't know. I might be getting off topic here, but I just
No, I think that's the question everyone has to answer for themselves is that agency is for sale. The question
yeah,
is, are you okay with the price? If you find that the bad outweighs the good, then the price may not be worth it for you. If you run a bakery, then yeah, the price of you operating an account for the purpose of growing your bakery business seems reasonable.
right.
I would firewall that off, so to speak, from the rest of your life.
Right.
Seems perfectly reasonable.
And you should be able to kind of separate the two. You don't want it to I understand people want to blend their life and their business together, especially if it's a small business in a community,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
that's a tightrope that you're walking when you, because you can expose yourself even more than just losing your business, you could lose everything else.
At a bare minimum, you've lost some agency. At a bare minimum, you've lost some agency, and I think that's the real privacy question to tackle in 2026 for this show too, right? Like we talk a lot about the state of privacy on the Problem Lounge. I'm sorry, on Privacy Plays.
Right.
About we talk a lot about the B2B aspects of it and what folks can do. We talk a lot about the law, but our very messy lives aren't quite that. It's not that easy for us to just say, all right, well, we're just going to opt out of all of the privacy harming things in our lives. How do you plan on doing that? You've got televisions that phone home. You've got Ring doorbell cameras that Amazon has access to your feeds and governments do. Right? Good luck. How are you going to?
Everything. You walk through your house, your fridge can have it, your car, your phone, everything that you come into contact with nowadays, it's
Are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? So we're going to get into that over the next several weeks, and we hope you guys are here for the journey and the ride. Much like when we kicked off Privacy Please, our first episode there was a learning one also. We shared some tools and how you can protect your privacy and so forth, and we're taking that a little bit more to the extreme this time. We're getting extra messy with how you regain agency and don't have to pay that privacy luxury tax.
love it. And again, thanks you everyone listening. Go to our website, problemlounge.com. The
Sign up
Problem Lounge.
sign up for the newsletter.
Sign up for the newsletter. Connect with us. If you want to be a guest, come talk with us. If you know somebody that would love to come chat with us about the messiness of being human in this digital world, we can't wait to go on that journey with you guys. So thanks again. And Gabe, thank you, man. Excited
Yeah.
for the series.
Let's go.